Hello, this is just for extra engagement so that you don't click off the video immediately. I got Pokemon cards. Did you know that? I actually am not actually that successful as an investor or anything. So don't take any of the advice that I'm giving. I'm an 18-year-old kid anyway. I just wanted to share something that was just low-key how I was feeling on the internet like everyone else does. So basically my thoughts on Chaos Rising is that everyone says that it's not a desired set, but the thing is most sets are not desirable and then they become desirable. Excuse me, I'm out of breath by standing here. I'm a chud. Anyway, so what I got going on here, I just got basic stuff. I have a couple things down here, more things down there, and then I have another box in here that has mainly just store-bought stuff. I know, right? I'm a scalper. I go to college in a very small area, and so the store there's one person that buys cards, and occasionally I beat them to the supply, so I can just buy some stuff. I don't usually get all of it. I usually, whatever is there, I usually take like a fifth of it. Depends on how much it is. It's a Dollar General, so there's not a lot of stock to go around. They restock sleeved blisters, or sleeved boosters, blisters, and anyway, back to the point. I'm probably gonna have to cut this now because I went off topic. I've had a decent track record of buying bad sets and then having them appreciate. First of all, if you put money in anything in the last year, you're riding easy. Even Darkness Ablaze down there has appreciated in value, right? I bought Destined Rivals during the winter crash when it was a market correction from shit being dumped on the market. Sorry for my profanity here. This is not a child-friendly video. But if you move the CTB out of the way, we got Black Bolt and White Flare. That's my most proud investment, along with Surging. Basically, I see sets that are okay, why are these so low value at the moment? So, I saw Surging and was why is the Chase card worth so much and appreciating in value, yet the booster box is declining? And I didn't have enough money at the time, or at least not that I wanted to put in to cards at that moment, so I didn't buy a booster box of Surging, but I bought a bundle, and I ended up still, making quite a bit of, percentage-wise, made a decent bit of money. But these are my best investments at the moment because of the fact that I bought them in the 80s and was why are... Gen 5, when the games came out, everyone hated them, and then they aged and everyone loved them. The sets, I was these are amazing sets. They were so hyped, and then everyone just forgot about them. And so I was all right, I'm just going to buy one of each. And they've both doubled. This one is more than doubled. But my point is, same with Phantasmal. I bought a Phantasmal Charizard UPC, and I was debating between... I wanted to get all the booster boxes around the time that I was starting, so I didn't end up getting a booster box of Phantasmal, which was a regret of mine. Although I had other successes, like buying Destined Rivals in the winter dip at 380. And Mega Evolution still was a decent investment. Although my box, for some reason, has this weird factory hole in it on this side. I can't really describe it, but it looks... The box doesn't seem tampered with. It just has a big hole in the side that's I don't know. I might buy another box of it if I care to have an intact one, but I've just kept that there. Okay. Phantasmal, I looked at the Charizards in that set and just the popularity of the stuff, and everyone was not interested in it. They're the hype's kind of faded. It was at a 210 a box, less than Mega Evolution. And I was this is such an underrated set. And sorry for the cuts on my face, by the way. I'm a horrible shaver. But I ended up having the most product of Phantasmal because I have 34 of those Cottony and Whimsicott blisters and other things. So, I mean, I'm not really complaining that much about my investments in Phantasmal, although I do regret not getting a box. But I was going to get a box at one point, and then I decided to buy Destined Rivals instead, which... I actually was originally going to buy Destined Rivals and Phantasmal back then. And then I decided to get Destined Rivals and Darkness Ablaze just so I could experiment with older sets. And I will say Darkness was the worst old set to buy because it's the only one that didn't really appreciate much. But it still appreciated. It just wasn't Vivid Voltage or something. Or even Battle Styles. Actually, I would say Darkness Ablaze is probably the least appreciated set in all, of Sword and Shield block, probably. But anyway, I own a Chaos Rising box. And a bundle and an art set. That's essentially my product in Chaos Rising, besides these Series 2 things or whatever they're called. The first partners. Why am I saying whatever they're called? I'm acting like I don't know what this is. I know exactly what these products are. But my point is, everyone says the Greninja card's bad, and that's fine. But the thing is, opinions tend to change in this market. And this set, we're entering a period where everything's depreciating, and that's the most recent set. And so it's dropping to 200. And the thing I don't understand is like both Perfect Order and Chaos, let's say they're not as good as Phantasmal. I'm not arguing that they're better than those sets. I'm arguing that every single set in this bull market when it's dropped has gone to like 200s or lower. Well, 220s or lower realistically. And then it spikes up after whatever phase of the market's going on. And I'm going to be honest with you, I see a lot of bull tendencies, either people buying at the low or still extreme hype getting poured into other sets. Like, we're not... My thing is, I don't feel like we're entering a bear market. And look, you can call me an idiot or whatever. It's not going to change my opinion. And that's the whole point with this internet thing. So do whatever you want. Buy Chaos Rising, buy Destined Rivals, buy whatever you think is, I don't know, just if you're willing to make moves in this game, just do whatever. You'll probably be fine, at least until this bull market is through. And I don't really see much sign of it stopping at the moment because there has to be something that would ultimately lead to that. Pokemon seems like they have a pretty good system with printing, but ultimately buying this product is not only putting faith in the hype for collectibles, but also putting faith in the company and the IP itself, which is something to take into mind. But I just can't buy the fact that Chaos, the cheapest booster box to buy right now is Chaos. And I just can't, outside of the fact that it's new, I just don't think that's realistic. Do you really think Chaos Rising is worse than Perfect Order? And I would argue that Perfect Order even shouldn't be as low as it is. Like, I own a box of both, and I'm thinking about, I have a box of every ME set except Phantasmal, and I was thinking about getting a box of it anyway, but I'm still thinking about that, because otherwise I would just pour money into some of the older sets that I've been wanting to pick up on. Great example, Paradox Rift. That set's undervalued. It's just got out of print, or whenever it was out of print. It's like in the 280s, which there's hardly any boxes out of print that are in the 280s. There's that one and Battle Styles, and those are like the only two that I could literally think of. By the way, Battle Styles is like 2021, guys. But I think those, I mean, Surging might be below 300. I don't know. I guess Journey is as well, but those are still in print. Like, the only out-of-print set is Paradox Rift. So I bought one. I also just don't understand why the booster bundles... Like, another interesting thing was the booster bundles of Phantasmal were like 80 when it was peaking, 80 or 90, which is fine. They do reprint booster bundles more than they reprint boxes, at least from what I've seen. And the bundle was like 80, and that makes sense because if you buy 80 bundles, you're getting it for around the same as a booster box, if not a little bit less because of the premium. I think it was 480, not taxed and everything. Like slightly less because the premium on the booster boxes. But I was looking at Paradox Rift and I was like, why are the bundles 80 but the box is 280? Like, you're telling me that if I buy, I could spend 480 on 36 packs in booster bundles, or I could get it for like $180 cheaper, $160 cheaper. So I bought a box of that. I was like, why are the bundles so expensive? That's not like the greatest logic to go off of, by the way. That was just some of my logic with that set. There's a couple other factors, like it's just got out of print and all that. My point is, with a couple of these investments, I've made... What I've either done with them is, except for the Charizard UPC, which I learned a big lesson from that, pretty much every single one of these I purchased during the dip after the overprinting, except for a couple things that I just kind of wanted. And then, like, I waited about 3 weeks to a month after the set drops, and then buy the product when it gets flooded onto the market, and just let it go up from there. So I've done that with every set, except for a couple in which I was buying in a bad market period, like the winter time. So everything here was a culmination of that period. Like, this was in that time. Prismatic at 120. This is a Costco bundle. Unfortunately, mine has like a rip in it, but I don't care, bro. I paid like less than I paid like 180 for it. But bro, are you telling me right now that it's 6 months, Perfect Order and Chaos Rising are going to be, deserve to be, and are going to be the least valued sets, sitting at barely over MSRP? I don't really buy the story, and that's just me. So you guys do whatever you want. I've been yapping about this for a while. I've been starting to put these on YouTube. But my thing is, I'm going to buy some Chaos. I'm going to buy some Phantasmal. And I'm probably an idiot. And that's what that's what everyone wants to think. Like, guys, there's no money anymore. It's like the faucet turned off. I still see a lot of bullish tendencies. Everyone's eyeing the market and complaining and blah, 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 or whatever. I mean, people are complaining when it's good and when it's bad markets, but guys, chaos rising. Oh, gosh. It's not the worst set. It should not be at 200, 210. I mean, maybe right now, I don't because of reprints in markets, but I'm just saying, like, that's not going to last if this bull market continues. We're in a period where everyone is redirecting their focus, fire selling because of panic, and the fact that our market can't just keep going up for years. Like, that's just not sustainable. And so, no, I don't think that chaos is a bad set. I don't. I didn't think Phantasmal was a bad set when the internet was telling us it was a bad set. I genuinely think chaos is following the same, probably not as good as Phantasmal, but it's following the same trajectory as Phantasmal. Phantasmal dropped, the market peeled because of products being dumped onto the market in winter, and chaos is the victim of that same trajectory. Chaos dropped, hype went up, hype faded, and then the market faded at the same time because of a correction or because of the summer, whatever you want to call it. There's still a lot of bullish tendencies going on in this market by chaos rising. This time, I'm not going to make the same mistake that I did in the winter. And, well, it's not that it was a mistake. I don't regret buying a Darkness Ablaze booster box. But if I'm over leveraging or leveraging some more amount of money, I'm buying a second Chaos Rising booster box and buying a Phantasmal booster box, which would be the same thing as me buying Destin Rivals and Phantasmal back in December, back in November, whatever it was. I'm just doing the same thing after a similar market period because I still think the bull market is going to continue after this whole correction, after the 30th drops. And as far as after the 30th, I genuinely don't know what to say. We'll see how the market pans out. Don't be an idiot. So that means either never invest in Pokemon or listen to what I say. I don't know. You choose. I genuinely think Chaos Rising is a fairly solid set. I don't know why people don't like it. I get more of Perfect Order's vibe, but I still like that set. Not as good as Phantasmal. But I think Chaos Rising is a perfectly fine set that is a victim of a bad market. And so let's see how this video ages.